what seems big in size is not necessarily important, and what seems small in size is not necessarily always meant to be ignored. Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be talking about vessels, not pandas, should be the poster animal for biodiversity loss. So we'll just be seeing that why vessels are making headlines. First, let us understand the timeline of the video. First, we'll be looking at the news, then regarding what is going on and what is it that is making headlines, or what the biologist around the world is thinking about. Then what are the many threats regarding the vessels, then what are the causes of loss of vessels, and what are the importance of small carnivores. In the end, a mains practice question. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 3, Environment and Ecology and Conservation. You can take the example of vessels and can quote it in your answer writing practice. Then this news has been taken from Down to Earth, and it says vessels, not pandas, should be the poster animal for biodiversity loss. So what has happened is, what we will be seeing is that at the COP15, which will be taking place in Montreal and has started on December 7th, what we see is, this is the logo of the conference, and what we are seeing is that the animal panda has been used here. So the biologists are saying that instead of panda, vessels could have been used, and vessels could have been a better option instead of panda. So first, okay, these are vessels. These are very small in size and are carnivorous animals. So why is it that the biologists are saying that instead of panda, the vessels could have been used? See, United Nations Biodiversity Conference is been going on, and COP15 is going on in Montreal and has started on December 7th. And what is the aim? The aim is to create a new global framework for transforming humanity's relationship with nature. So we will be seeing that what we can do in it to conserve nature, or for the conservation of nature or biodiversity. Then the conference logo features a human. So you can see here, you can see the human reaching to embrace panda. So this is human and this is the panda. So we can see both in the logo. So people are saying that instead of the panda, the vessels could have been used, and that could have been a better option. Then ecological perspective, a vessel or badger would be a more appropriate choice. This is what the biologist around the world is saying. Then large mammals with widespread appeal, and they are known as charismatic megafauna. Ecologists or the biologists are saying just because the animals which are bigger in size and they are considered to be the charismatic personality, and they have a huge appeal in with respect to nature or in between humans. That is why we cannot ignore, on the other hand, we cannot ignore the small animals just because they do not have that much of appeal and they are not very charismatic in nature. And they charismatic megafauna like panda, like tiger, like lion, like eagles, they represent the highest achievement in biodiversity protection. Then saving the tiger, polar bear, wolf or lion means saving an entire ecosystem. This is what we think, because these are considered to be the flagship species or the charismatic species who represent an area, or who represent a very large area where they are seen as something which is representing that region or that area. Then they sit at the top of the food chains also, and that is why it is also considered important, because they are at the topmost level in the food chains. But many large charismatic species are recovering well in North America. So today we will be taking the example of North America, where what has been seen is many of the big flagship and important species like tiger, like lion, like pandas, they are recovering well, while on the other hand the small species which are not very much in news or which do not make headlines are not in good numbers, and they are not seen in good numbers as compared to the bigger species. Then what we see now is that the wolves are repopulating California. So earlier in California, what we saw was that the wolves were not very much high in numbers, but now again it can be seen that the population of wolves are again increasing there. Then quaggas could become re-established across the Midwest. They are also increasing in number. Then black bears have regained their range in the eastern US. And for small carnivores like weasels, skunks and foxes, there is a different story. So many a times what we see is we keep our focus onto those big, large, flagship, charismatic population or on animals. But what we tend to miss on the other hand are those small but very important. Even though they are small in size, but they hold a very important position, we tend to ignore them. And now this is what we are seeing in North America, that even though the population of wolves, quaggas, black bears, pandas are increasing, but on the other hand, the small animals like weasels, skunks and foxes, they have a different story to tell. But they have equal or greater impact on the ecosystem they inhabit, because looking at their size, we also tend to believe that they do not have a very major role to play in the ecosystem. But that is not the case. Even though they are small in size, but they have as much role as the bigger animals in a food chain and in a food web. If the predators who are sitting on the topmost level in the food chain have a role to play and are important, then also the animals which are at the bottom also have a role to play. Then they provide benefits for humans by preying on rodents that eat crops and infest our houses. So we know, see, this is what the weasels are doing. This is also what the earthworms are also called. They are also called the farmer's best friend, because they help a lot in eating the rodents and all the other insects that harms the crop, and they help in keeping the crop safe. So they are considered to be one of the biggest or one of the best friends of farmers and are very considered good for agriculture. Then the small carnivores are of increasing conservation concern. We also need to have concern for them because they also hold an important place. Then populations are declining dramatically in many places. So this is what is the problem, is that even though their population are also declining, but we do not tend to put much focus on them, and instead of shifts our focus to all the big species. Now let us talk about that what are the threats. Then small carnivores don't get as much public attention as large species, as I've already told you this one. Then biologists have been trying to arrest their decline for decades, that what are the reasons that why they are declining and what needs to be done to put them back on their earlier position. And few of the examples are black-footed ferret, who is of the same family as weasels and minks, and even the skunks also. Then the US endangered species list. Endangered species list, since the list was created in 1973. So the list, US endangered species list, was created in 1973, and now the black-footed ferret is a part of that list. And today scientists estimate there are fewer than 400 left in the wild. Just because they are not as big in size or they do not make headlines, that does not mean we will not pay attention towards them. And now just because the attention has not been given to them, what we see the situation is that there are not more than 400 left in the wild. So that is why it is also important to keep our focus on the small animals also. Even the most common and widespread small carnivores are in decline, and these are the examples that I am giving you about the North America. Then in 2005, eastern spotted skunks was there, but now it can be seen rarely seen today, and had declined in number by 90% over the preceding 50 years. But we are still not paying attention towards them. See, the population of skunks have declined 90%, and the population of black-footed ferret have declined much also, and not more than 400 are left in the wild. Now, what are the causes of loss of vessels? Is first is the changing farming practices. Now that there are so much of infrastructure development is taking place, and more land is needed. So because of those things, there are many things which is getting changed, and the changing pattern can be seen all around the world. And this is also one of the reasons that the farming practices are also changing, and because of that changing farming practices, this is causing harm to the vessels. And then diseases, because they are so small in size that it is believed, or earlier it was also believed, that they are very much in numbers, so not much attention was given to them. And now whenever the different kind of disease tends to come up, then this causes a lot of problem, and the death of the animals takes place in a huge numbers. Then the new carnivores like house cats, and one of the more important points can be that they are also small, so the other carnivores or the other omnivores are also meant to be predating on them. Then they are also the food of some other animals who are above them in the food cycle or the food chains or the food web. Then domestic dogs, they also catch them. Then raccoons and stripped skunks that follow human development and outcompete or eat native small carnivores. This is also one of the reasons that why they are declining in numbers, because see, whatever, if imagine this is the first level, this is the second level, and this is the third level. So whoever is present, the animals present on the third level will look for the second level animals. So for example, if the vessels are second level animals, and imagine the pandas or the tigers or the eagles, or you can say whatever, they tend to feed on them. So whenever someone on the upper level is feeding on the animals which are on the lower level, then these, if not taken proper care of, the population will keep on decreasing, and we will always be focusing on the animals who are on the uppermost strata. Now let us talk about the importance of small carnivores. They are unique. They give unique insight into the structure of ecosystems. Insight is the important word, into the structure of ecosystem, because they tell us that how the ecosystem works, and if they are not present in the ecosystem might get imbalance. Then they are the centers of the food web also, because they are occupying a strata in the food webs and the food chains. Then losing small carnivores can change ecosystems. This is also very true, because all the other animals which are present on those small carnivores, they will also get hampered if these small carnivores will get hampered, and if their population will not be in good numbers. Then reduce the spread of tick-borne diseases, since small rodents can serve as host for infected ticks. So what happens is that these small carnivores are very much helpful in removing all those small rodents or insects which are harmful for the ecosystem or for humans or for agriculture. So these small carnivores also help in that sense. Then use small carnivores as barometers of ecosystem health, and what we all know is that many of the species or the animal species which are present in a particular area, they also tell us about the health of the ecosystem. So these small carnivores can also tell us about the health of the ecosystem. If they are present in good numbers, it means the ecosystem is performing fine. But if they are not in good numbers and their numbers are depleting, it means something or the other is not going right and the ecosystem is not in proper balance. Things need to be taken care of. While lions and polar bears are important, parrots, vessels and foxes deserve the same kind of protection, because many a times the focus is always on lions or the polar bears or the pandas, because they are so huge in numbers and occupying the uppermost strata, while the lower and the small carnivore animals also want the same kind of attention, because they are someone who is not performing well and who are depleting in numbers. Then they are also a precise tool for measuring how ecosystems are responding to a rapidly changing world. So if their numbers are decreasing, we can say that the ecosystem is not able to adapt properly to the changing environment. And we also know that the problem of climate change is also going on. So because of the climate change problem also, the animals are suffering, and especially the small animals, because many a times in the wake of the large animals, these small animals are not taken care of, and we will only realize their importance only when the extinction process would start, and we need to take care that that point or that stage should not be reached. Then before going on to the mains practice question, just see here that we are coming up with the NCERT Foundation course, which will be in the live online format, and you can see that course through the Drishti Learning app, and the admissions are open. Validity is for 2 years. So you can go and see if you need this course. This will be covering all your basics, and the NCERTs would be covered in this. So now it's time for the mains practice question, and it says, I've given you a very easy one. This is a 10 marker, and it says, why are small carnivore important for the ecosystem? So you just have to give about a few of the examples of small carnivores, right? What are small carnivores, and then the points that why are they important, and then in the end a conclusion. So do your answer writing practice by this, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.